Hi, and welcome back to part 2 of how to pack for Sukkot and how to poop for Sukkot.
Got it.
So, we had some more technical difficulties, and you know, I can use prayers for that, guys, because that's happened a few times, and it's usually with things that really need to be heard by other people, or we need a reminder of it ourselves. And so be praying for the technical difficulties that we have on this channel, and that all kind of goes away and everything is better. But this is part 2 of the camping. It was we just got completely cut off with the last one, so we're just going to continue from there.
Yep. And that's all right, because we were just about to get into showing all the physical stuff that I bring for camping for Sukkot.
Yeah.
So, and just a couple of things to think about for yourself in your particular needs.
Right.
And again, this is kind of coming from a perspective of tent camping.
Yeah.
I feel like RV camping is easier than tent camping, so this is going to kind of come from the perspective of a little bit more difficult camping. All right. Thank you. We have a wonderful helper. Thank you, Audrey.
Yes.
I'm going to show you some of my cooking gear. It's nothing super fancy, but I just want to show you some of the things to think about. This was and you might see this on the end of the other one, so ignore if I repeat anything. But you want to be thoughtful of whether you're using a fire, are you using a camp stove, are you, there's another option, I can't remember what another option is. But be thoughtful of what you're cooking with, because I can use this on my camp stove, and I'm bringing it for cooking like eggs and stuff, so I don't have to deal with sticking. But it's not going to work on an open fire. And I also showed that I have an enameled cast iron Dutch oven that I'm going to use for like cooking chilies and stuff like that and heating stuff up. I can only use this on my camp stove as well because of the enamel. Eventually I'm going to get a just plain cast iron that I can use on a camp stove or on a fire, but one less thing for me to buy this year, and I have a camp stove, so I'm going to use my camp stove with my Dutch oven this year. But I do have some items that are fire safe. I have my 3 different sizes, which I like because they nest inside each other, so they pack a lot easier.
Yes.
Cast iron can be used on my stove or directly over a fire. Pretty easy to maintain. Just make sure you look that up before you do it. Or I have my campfire kettle. I can use this on my stove or my fire. This is great for heating up for coffee. I use this only for water. Some people will bring these that they can use for eating food out of and stuff like that too, but I have this one specifically just for water. I also use this to fill up my water bottles at night if I'm at a primitive campsite, which is what we're going to be at this year, which just means we don't have electricity. I'm going to be able to fill this up before I go to bed, heat it up, and I'm going to be able to fill up it's in a bag right now, but it's my water bottle. For cold nights, I don't like being cold. This is just one of those silicone, like old hot water bottles that you can use when you're sick or something like that. It's a heating pad. I fill it up with boiling water. You can use hot water in there. Close it up. I got this on Amazon. And the sleeve keeps it from burning you. Put it in the bottom of my sleeping bag at night. This was something I learned last year. I brought for last year for Sukkot, and I was so grateful. It kept me warm all night long. So if you're gonna be camping somewhere cold, that's one way to do it, but you do have to fill it with hot water right before bed. Another one I saw my first year, I was freezing and I was not prepared. I would have made do, it would have been okay, but it was lovely being in a community because they had these reusable, I think the brand was called Soma Care, hot water or hot pads, and it has these little pieces of metal in it that you click and it heats the whole pad up, and you would put that in the bottom of my sleeping bag at night, and then in the morning it's reusable in the sense that you just put it over boiling water, put it in a pot of boiling water, and then there's a chemical reaction that happens where it pulls all that heating elements out and puts it back into the little metal pieces somehow, and then you just click those little metal pieces again on the inside, and when you're ready to use it, and it gets hot again. So it's a couple things to think about if you're looking for something to keep you warm. They also have those hot hand warmer things. I think I have them in one of my drawers over here, or like feet warmers or boot warmers that you can just buy at any campsite, any camp store. I don't remember which drawer. I have it on my checklist. I do have a checklist that I kind of want to show you guys, but I'll show you that in a little bit.
One of your doors is stuck.
Yeah.
Sorry about
That's
that.
new. That's new for me this year. A couple of those things. So, towels. You want to make sure you bring towels for if you're gonna take showers, maybe to lay your drying pots and pans and stuff on. Or you never know if it gets rainy, you get a mess, mud. It's just nice to have some towels that you don't mind getting dirty. You can get some that are smaller. You can get camping ones. You can get like Turkish ones. You can get linen ones that pack up really, really small. So if space is an issue, think about that.
Yeah, there's even micro towels now.
Yeah.
That are really, really small.
Really, really small. But for us, we have the space, so I'm just gonna bring some old towels that I don't mind getting dirty. But think about bringing towels. Extra fuel for my stove is in here. This is my tote of stuff that may not get pulled out. Some interesting things. Safety. Fire extinguisher is a great idea to have on hand. You're gonna be working with fires, especially if you're working in somewhere where it has like it might be a little dry and you might accidentally start a fire. First aid kit is always great to have. Again, we're in a community, we have a medical team, but it's still kind of nice to have if you have the space. A hammock, something to think about. A power strip, even though we don't have access to electricity, I'm bringing an extension cord and a power strip so that if there's a place for me to hook up to power, we have an option to have some power, possibly. We may not pull it out, but I have the space for it, so I'm gonna bring it this year. Fire starters, a couple different ways to do fire starters. Learned this my first year. This is an old egg carton, some sawdust chips. I actually used the same ones that I used for my potty, and candle wax. So all you do is light this, it lights on fire. You break one of these off. That's why you can see that one of these is already broken off here. And you can light the egg carton on fire, and then the wax slow burns and burns the wood chips, and you can put it under your kindling, and it stays lit for a long period of time, so you're not having to hold a lighter in there. So it's a great way to do a fire starter. Another fire starter option, again, this is like if you're doing fire, so just want to give a couple tips and tricks, not try to take too long. Old toilet paper rolls and dryer lint. Dryer lint, if you didn't know, is incredibly flammable. I suggest you collect dryer lint from natural material loads that you do. If you have like all cotton towels, keep the lint just from those. Don't use it if you have a bunch of polyester and stuff like that, because that actually can be toxic fumes a little bit. But you can shove, especially if it's cotton lint, it's gonna be really great to start on fire. You can shove some inside of one of these little toilet paper tubes, light the outside of the toilet paper tube, or light part of your little lint and put that under your kindling. And it's a great way to kind of get a fire going if you're struggling with a fire. So I have a whole bag here just in case we need it. I actually used it for the community fire one year at our campsite. So that was nice to have on hand. I have a hose in case I need it. May not use it, but it's nice to have. I know last year our Sukkot, our tents got covered with yuck, so it was nice to be able to spray off our tent when we were done. You want light sources. I got a couple lanterns with batteries. Make sure you bring extra batteries if you have something like that. You can use some small wash bins like these to wash and dry your dishes, or sorry, wash and rinse your dishes. And I'm bringing a drying rack, an old drying rack that I have. You can buy collapsible things that are super fancy. You can bring what you have. Again, be thoughtful of space, money, all those kinds of things. So these are just some small ones if I just have a couple hand dishes to do. Another really cool option is I'm specifically packing a couple of totes that are gonna be emptied out completely. So they're gonna be kind of mismatched items in there. They don't necessarily go together. Like this one's gonna have my camp stove in here, my drying rack, my wash bins, my lanterns, but all of that stuff is gonna come out right when I get to my campsite. And then my bin will be empty. So now I have an empty bin that I can put dirty dishes if I'm not ready to wash them yet. I can use the empty bin to wash my dishes. I can use another empty bin to rinse my dishes. So that's a really cool idea. So also another really cool tip that I learned this year, Dollar Tree. You go to the Dollar Tree, a lot of times they have those mesh laundry bags. You can put wet dishes in one of those mesh laundry bags, hang it somewhere, tree, from your tent, wherever, and your dishes can dry right in there. So if you don't have space, you don't have a drying rack, you don't have a table, you don't have a bunch of money, if you have $1, and if they have that at the Dollar Tree, just get one of those mesh ones, throw all your clean dishes in there, hang it up, and it should dry most of it. And then you just want to have like a little hand towel to dry anything that might still be remaining at the end. Cast iron, you want to make sure it gets dried right away. I have a tote, another tote that's going to get emptied. It has all of our sleeping stuff in it. So we're bringing an air mattress and cots this year because I'm nursing. I need to be able to lay down easily with my kid, my baby. I lay to nurse. So I need an air mattress for me. So I have sheets packed up nice and neat in these bags. I can suck the air out of them if I want. Just kind of save some space in there. And they're linen, so
Oh,
I love
nice.
my linen.
Yes.
So I have linen sheets specifically for my bed. And then again, be thoughtful, space saving, right? So I'm gonna show you 3 different, not that. These are all pillows. It's tiny, still pretty small, big, and you can bring a regular pillow. If you don't have the money and if you have the space, bring a regular pillow, that's fine. This is cheaper version, these are more expensive versions. It's just something that you can think about and save space on. So these are our pillows that we blow up and they're really comfy actually. So we're gonna pack some of these. I have sleeping bags. I have an extra throw blanket just to keep around the fire or outside that also packs up like a sleeping bag in one of those little bags. And the nice thing about that too is I can always just toss those in the back of the car if I don't have space, or if I don't have space for a tote, I can kind of just shove bags where they fit in nicely into my vehicle as well. But make sure you have sheets if you have a bed, sleeping bags for everybody, pillows for everybody. We have an air pad that we're gonna use for my husband for the cot because he's gonna be on the bottom one. That way it keeps him nice and warm. And I have a tote that's mostly empty right now, but it's gonna be for our food, for my dry food. And the nice thing about these ones is you wanna be thoughtful of the bins that have, I don't wanna lift that one's too heavy. They have the handles that go over and they lock shut. So for me, I always wanna make sure my food is in one of those bins where it can close. It doesn't like lock. But if you have bears or something like that, you wanna make sure you have like a bear-proof specific totes for your food. Or for us, we're just trying to keep raccoons and stuff out. So this kind of a bin is not gonna be as good of a one. It doesn't lock at all. It just has a lid that's right on top. That's not gonna be as helpful. Again, if you're first year, that was a rookie mistake I made, and we had to deal with some bugs. So, part of the experience, you can say it that way, but be thoughtful if you can to get bins that have little lids on it. I don't have clear bins, but that's another great suggestion. But you wanna get heavy duty bins if you're gonna get clear ones, because clear ones can break pretty easily. But some people really like their clear totes so they can see every single thing that's in there. And they can easily find stuff, food and stuff. But you just kind of keep that up to you for your own discretion.
That might be a time to teach him about the lid.
This one?
Yeah.
Yeah, so
If
this
you really want to know what's inside.
Yeah, so this is good for if people like me who I have dark bins, I'm gonna use what I have. This is a cool little trick. You can use a sheet protector or get it laminated. It has Velcro that Velcros to my lid. And it'll give me a list of every item that's inside that bin. This actually is for my other bins, but I wanted to put that on there to show you guys. This is an example of what you can do. I can still just take this out and put a new one in. And if you use a laminated sheet or a sheet protector, get a dry erase marker, and you can check your items off on there. Okay, I got that, and it erases. So that's always a cool little trick to staying organized. If you have a tote that you need to pack very specifically, you really want to make sure you don't forget anything that goes in that tote. It's an option. It's a really, really great option. So I really like this idea. I'm gonna Velcro that back on. I'm using the command Velcro, so it's a little bit different. If you're gonna be working on a fire or a charcoal grill, that was the other one. Charcoal grill cleaner, bring charcoal, fire gloves or fire resistant, heat resistant gloves. If you're working with fire, make sure you have like your camping or grill. These are grill tools in here. Pokers, and I have kebabs also. So I have kebabs here. This is gonna be my tote for my food. So that's gonna stay full. And then this is my other little trick. For me, I like. Let me just pull this out. These are my favorite. These are my favorite. So this is my little small utility 3-drawer. And it has my bug stuff, my sunscreen, I can actually tell you everything that's in here because that's what this list actually is. I have ant repellent. That's all in this top drawer. I have waterproof spray for my tent in case I need it. Electrical tape, duct tape, extra batteries, extra toilet bags because you're gonna need to replace the toilet bags for my little potty. Large rubber bands, S-hooks and carabiners to hang things on my tent. And then my bottom drawer has hand warmers in there. That's what it is. It's a little stuff. Some of these are gonna get empty. So you can buy these at any kind of camping area. These are little hand warmers. So if it gets cold at night, a campfire or something like that, I can pull those out. Extra lighters, you wanna make sure you have lighters. Totally forgot a lighter for Shavuot.
Oh yeah.
And I wasn't able to light my camp grill. Can't really cook if you don't have a lighter. But luckily we live in community, so scissors come in super handy. Always great to have access, easy access to a pair of scissors. I like this because then I'm not having to dig through a big tote for something really small.
Yeah.
You know, so my extra butane's in here if I need it, my extra fuel's in there if I need it, matches if I need them. Like, try to imagine trying to dig for matches somewhere in like a gigantic tote. That would be awful. And then this one is gonna be my kitchen tote down here. It's the bigger version of this guy. And this is gonna sit right on my camping kitchen table. It has all my utensils in it. Has my cutting board, my knives, pot holders, rags, dish soap, scrubbies, paper towels, trash bags. And it has all my dishware in it too. So it has all my reusable and my disposable, because I'm gonna have the option of both that way. Sabbath, let's be real. I don't always wanna do dishes on Sabbath. And I just want to show a couple other quick things too. A trash can is not necessary, but it's nice to have. You can get a small trash can that packs up really small. This is gonna be a lifesaver. Some people will use tarps out in front of their tent if you're tent camping, but this is just like an outdoor RV patio rug. And the water, it packs up really small, has its own carrying case. The water will go through it. If you use a tarp, the water sits on top of your tarp. I also use one of these, it's a bigger one of these, under my tent instead of using a tarp, because if it rains, the water comes off my tent, sits on that tarp, and then it'll start to flood inside my tent. I don't want that. If I have one of these, the water runs off and runs through, and it also keeps the moisture that you get from like the dew off of the bottom of my tent as well. So something to think about. Didn't have it my first few years. This is actually a new addition for us. This is gonna be for my kitchen area. So excited, because we had a tarp last year and it was kind of a pain. So this is a nice little option to think about. Also, you know, sometimes it's nice, like I'm gonna be doing some laundry myself, so having a couple bins to be able to put laundry in and move it around, throw some dirty shoes outside my tent if they're muddy. It's just gonna be nice to have, and if I have the space, I'm gonna throw a couple cheap Dollar Tree bins in. And I did want to show some cots real quick. I'm not pulling my cot all the way out, but I have a couple options. So you can see cots. I just hold that for a second. This is an adult cot. Packs up pretty small, has a handle on it. So if you're looking for maybe a space saving idea, if you need to, cots could be a good option. Now they're heavy, but they could save a lot of space. And I actually have 2 of these and they're stackable. So we make a bunk out of those, and my husband and my toddler are gonna sleep on that. This year, move the table, sorry. But we also have, there's other options. This is super lightweight cot. Somebody actually was throwing this one away last year for Sukkot, and we grabbed it so that I can use for my toddler if we need to. And it actually already came in handy for a trip. So we used it for my toddler to sleep on. So, or you can use an air mattress. Just make sure if you're using an air mattress If you don't have access to electricity, make sure you have a pump. Make sure you be able to blow it up. We have an option that has both, so be thoughtful of that as well. And I think that was it that I wanted to talk about. Yeah. So this is not comprehensive. It's just something to kind of show you. Oh, I want to show you, one more thing. This was from Amanda. This was from our beautiful Amanda. My clothing tote. I made a mock clothing tote for you guys. Sorry as I work around all my stuff. So these are the Underbed storage totes.
Oh, I like that.
Yes, and I specifically measured under my cot of how much space I had. So these ones I got specifically, they're not the highest brand ones because they wouldn't fit. So I had to get the cheapest ones because they were the only ones that were short enough that would fit under my cot. And I can fit all 4 of these. I can have one for both my boys, one for me, one for my husband, and one for my cloth diapers. Or if you're not doing diapers, a bunch of shoes, rain jackets, stuff like that can go in one as like an emergency pack that you want to have available in your tent. So all 4 of these fit if I fit them the long way underneath my cot. So I really like having these. We rolled my clothes this year, or folded them in little stacks. Folded them in little stacks like this. They're sitting in like this so I can see every single item that's in here. And I have it set up where, kind of like what we talked about with the bags earlier, I have a little outfit for a hot day set up for my son. Pair of underwear, t-shirt, shorts. Pair of underwear, t-shirt, shorts. Pair of underwear, t-shirt, shorts. So I can just grab a stack. I don't have to think about it very much when I'm camping. And of course I have options for sweaters and sweatpants and things like that as well. So be thoughtful of your weather. Be thoughtful if it's gonna get chilly in the evening, or if you think you're gonna have rain, bring little rain boots for your kids. Water shoes could be another great option if you don't have rain boots. Was there anything else in here? I specifically saved for play clothes. So my kid has play clothes that are already trashed, so I don't have to worry about them getting filthy, and we can just go through those. I also have play shoes that are already dirty and trashed, so if they get dirty, I don't care. So something to think about. But you also want to be mindful. Rain jacket, super helpful for us this year for Shavuot when we were out camping, because it poured while we were trying to pack up. So be thoughtful about this. I had rain boots I was very grateful to have. My poor husband's feet were soaking wet and cold. Not a good combination because he didn't have any waterproof shoes. He survived, but it's something to think about if you can think about those kinds of things. Like I said, I packed up all the swimwear, so all my swimming stuff for my boys is all in here, so I don't have to get it mixed up with anything else, and I can just grab it if I know they're going to be swimming or playing in water. I picked up this cool little trick this year, and somebody showed me they bought everything at the Dollar Tree pretty much. This is just my version of it. A lanyard for the shower. So you can take this if you have a shower at your campsite, get a couple little bottles that you're able to clip to like a carabiner or something that have your shampoo and your conditioner or whatever in there, your rags or your loofah, all attached. So that way if you go to the shower, if there's not shelves or if you're iffy about it, you just have everything attached to you. And if there maybe is a hook, cool, then you can just take this off and it's all in one spot together. So it's just something, a trick I just learned this year that I'm gonna try to bring along with us this year for Sukkot. Think about wool. So some wool socks are a great option. They're great for hot or cold weather.
Just don't wear it with your linen.
Don't wear it with your linen, you're right. This is my husband's. I just kind of want to show a travel option of like packing all your toiletries. It has a nice little hook. This is a Sea to Summit brand. You can get it at like a camping store or an outdoor store. Has lots of little pockets. He actually uses for his mission trip when he went overseas, and actually uses when he was backpack camping. So it was really, really helpful. His toiletries pack away so much nicer than mine. But I make do with mine, but I just want to show you a cool little option to hang toiletries. He just leaves this hanging in our tent at all the time. all times. But it also zips up nice and small when he's not using it if he wants to. Oh, this was a trick that I learned and I've been using it and I really like. I had one of those foldable, collapsible toy hangers. You put like stuffed animals and stuff in, I guess, for kids. And I put this with my clothes and I can hang it up in my tent and I can put things I want really quick, easy access to. Like if I want access to wipes to wipe the kids down constantly. I want access to my underwear or something, whatever I want, yeah, whatever, anything. You have easy access to it. And if you don't have one of these, another option, we just got this year, I'm not sure if we're gonna use it or not, but we just picked this up from, I think, Target. It's a little shelf organizer, it's collapsible, and it has little spaces where you could put things that you want easy access to too. Has a couple little hangers. If you have a spot in your tent for it, this is a great option too. So we'll see if we use it, we may not. But I'm gonna bring it along this year just in case. And again, one of my favorites. I bring this every time I go camping. It's my fanny pack.
I got one now.
I love it. I swear by it because this is gonna be something I could wear for Sukkot if I wanted to. There's no pockets in this.
Right.
I can carry my phone, and the other thing I really love about having this, I don't know how many times I was out camping and hanging out with somebody at their campsite, talking, hanging out, and all of a sudden it's getting dark and it's getting darker and it's getting darker and all of a sudden it's pretty dark. Oh, I don't have any way to get back to my campsite unless I use my phone battery and my flashlight on there. I have my headlamp with me at all times, so I can always, and it's small. It doesn't take up very much space at all. And my headlamps are great. If you don't have one, they're wonderful. And I always just have this in here ready to go, so when I'm out and about and it starts to get dark, my headlamp's right there. And at night, great thing to just toss in my little shelf. So I have easy access to this in the middle of the night if I need to turn a light on. I have extra batteries with me if my headlamps or anything else like that. I have my AA batteries with me right on my person. And sometimes there's like papers that I need to have so I know the schedule. I just keep my schedule right in here for Sukkot. Anything like that. It's great to have a fanny pack. That's my favorite. This is actually my grandmother's, so it's...
Fanny packs are coming back.
They are. I was gonna say that my sister has like this really cool new one that you can get with tons of pockets. I mean, you can get ones that look really, really cool and that have tons of pockets that like sporty looking, whatever your style is, but I just like having it because I don't have pockets.
Yeah.
So I have my fanny pack. I rock my fanny pack. So those are some options of things to make sure you always pack with you. Maybe some ideas on how to store some things. I really like my little drawers. They make really fancy things where you can buy at the camping section where they like roll out your silverware and it's all like sectioned and nice and neat. Just be thoughtful of your specific situation. What's the space limitations I have? What's the financial limitations that I have? Just keep those things in mind. You don't have to go out and spend an arm and a leg to do camping, guys. This is not all inclusive. You don't have to pack the same way I pack. This is to give you ideas. This is to help you if you're overwhelmed, maybe. I don't want this to be more overwhelming for you. Please be prayerful and thinking about all this stuff. This is not to overwhelm you. This is to give you ideas, help you make sure you don't forget things. Think about tips and tricks. Maybe this is your 5th year, your 11th year, your 20th year Sukkoting, and you're just looking for a couple new upgrade ideas. Great. Maybe this is your 1st year. This is gonna be, oh, okay, I wanna make sure I have a sleeping bag. I wanna make sure I have camping stuff, right?
Seat seats.
Zeet seats. See, that was something else you can add to the list. I forgot
Yeah.
my zeet seats. You want to make sure you have your zeet seats on you. So, anyway, that was my exhaustive list. Let me come back over here and sit with you so we can close out. Hopefully this wasn't overwhelming for you guys. Hopefully this is helpful for you guys. Hopefully this gives you guys things to think about and know where to start.
Thank you so much.
I get very excited, so.
Yeah, she took the time to do the list to allow us in the home, and let's just give her a big old thank you for that. And in the meantime, just enjoy God's journey.